Hello everyone, our guest Paul Italia has been creating a lot of buzz recently, mostly because of his hard work and somewhat because of the controversies that he's been involved in recently. He has some big plans for arm wrestling. He's trying to create a new podcast which I will be a part of, and Italia Arm Wrestling Promotions is also doing a great job in North America and hopefully worldwide in the future. So big things coming for arm wrestling by Italia Arm Wrestling Promotion and Paul Italia. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, Pradeep, how you doing, buddy? I just want to first off congratulate you on making your 25K subscribers. I know the hard work it takes to get that, and you deserve all the great everything that goes with that, brother.
Yeah. Only arm wrestlers can understand this statement. The hard work it takes to get to 25,000 subscribers. Because other communities, a comedian, a musician, they'll be like, well, I uploaded 2 videos and I got 25,000 subscribers. But that's not how it works in arm wrestling. Well, maybe it does because in my last video, did you check out my last video? There is one Indian arm wrestling channel. His shorts got viral. He was arm wrestling and the national pride was somehow involved in that India versus Iran. And the Indian guy won and it got like 49 million views that short.
Wow,
So
that is amazing.
he went from 50-60,000 subscribers to 300,000 subscribers in less than 3 weeks.
That's like hitting the lotto.
Yeah, and he's a personal trainer, so you can imagine out of those 50 million viewers, like how many are going to hit him up for personal training. So I think that kid is set for life now.
Well, I just want to say this, Pradeep. I've been following you since day one. I've been a fan. You kind of inspired me to started my own YouTube channel, and you kind of paved the way. So great work, brother.
Yeah. So Alpha is asking Pradeep, please ask Paul Italia why he's not inviting Eastern European arm wrestlers to his event in USA. Are you inviting European arm wrestlers yet?
So the next thing I got going on is going down April 1st. It's called the Cobra Classic. I teamed up with Cobra Rhodes. We all know a legend in our sport, and we're going to throw a great event. But I just jumped on this promotion literally, 3 weeks out. So getting a top level super match is pretty hard when you only got 3 weeks. So, I did what I could. I also had to honor my obligation. We all know that whole thing with Michael Toddler, how he laid down. I put that $1,000 bounty out on his right arm for anybody that could beat him in a tournament. Well, he kind of took the easy way out and he just laid down to an opponent named Bo James Olsen. So Bo James has been in the sport for many years, great athlete. I'm actually really grateful for Michael for doing this because, he's putting him on my radar, and now I got him part of my big event coming up, and he's going to be pulling Quinlan Mendez. So that's going to be like our headliner, but I've got a bunch more announcements to come. We're building this up. But like I said, it was only 3 weeks out when I jumped on this promotion. So I want to kind of get into that so you guys understand how it all came about. So in California, there was another event going on, North versus South, and they asked me to come help them out. And as me being a promotions company, usually I don't do anything for free. But, these guys were new in the game, and, I wanted to kind of give them a little charity, help them out, and put some light on their event. So I bought all my team. I bought them all their round trip tickets, got an after party house, just to help out, anything that they needed help, referees, emceeing. I was going to be there to hold their hand and get them through this being their first event. I've thrown 56 of them over the last 3 years. I got a lot of experience. My team's got a lot of experience. Well, unfortunately, 2 weeks after we jumped on board with them, they contact me and they're like, we just hired Bill Collins in the UAL, and Bill wants this exclusive promotion. So please stop doing anything you're doing. We don't want no interviews. We don't want any help at all. So I'm like, oh, well, that's just wonderful. I just dropped all this money, paying for round trip tickets, renting a house. So I was just like, what am I going there for? I was going to help as a charity. And then, I kind of just took that as an insult. So no problem. I see that my great friend Cobra Rhodes had a big event going down in Fort Wayne, Indiana, same day, April 1st. It's not affecting the California tournament at all. It's on the other side of the country. So I was like, you know what, Cobra, what's up, brother? I could transfer all these tickets that I bought. We'll get a big after party house. and let's make this the next level, Pole Italia style. So Cobra was like, "Oh, brother, I love that. I'm very appreciative. Let's do this." So 3 weeks out, I'm making super matches, whatever I can. It's hard to get the top of the top when you only got 3 weeks of training and all. So I'm doing my best, but this is going to be an amazing event. It's an East versus West qualifier. So if you're anywhere in that area, make sure to check it out. I also have it on my YouTube channel. We're going to be going live there. You can enjoy these super matches completely free, no pay-per-view. This is just me giving back to the community. I'm going to have a great time that day. So check it out, April 1st. It's going to be going down.
You mentioned it is just giving back to the community. So what exactly do you think you have received from the community till now?
Well, I mean everything, brother. This arm wrestling community, it's like a family, my second family. I love everything about it. It's since day one. I came into the sport 3 years. Everybody's been so appreciative, welcoming me everywhere I go. Anywhere I travel, I got friends there. I hit them up. I'm going to be in the area having a practice. Next thing I know, 100 people show up to meet me. And I mean, it's just amazing. So, this arm wrestling community is everything to me. It's my second family.
Okay, let me read a few comments. Telpol Hutchins Jr. is saying, Pradeep, my buddy, and the Rolex wearing, styling, and profiling, Mr. Paul. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey,
Okay,
what's up, brother? I appreciate all your great comments. He's a great supporter from the beginning. Really appreciate it.
right. Tom has limits. Hall. Keep up the great work, Paul. And
See, this is what I love about it. We're all over the world. We come from all different parts of life, and we all have one great passion, and that's arm wrestling, and that's where we all come together, and that's the beautiful thing about arm wrestling.
and let's read the next comment. Stizzy is saying the Italian stallion and the gossip queen. Well, I'm the one who is least involved in controversies because you can literally count on my channel. Like go to last 50 videos. You cannot find five controversial videos. So that is less than 10%, maybe a 5% rate. And it is somehow like people only talk about those videos. Like the gossip videos are like 5% or 10%, but people only see that. That one I saw a shorts about, I think it was about Einstein or something. Like he was teaching in a class and he was like teaching the table of 9, 18, 27, and once he said 91 instead of 90, and everybody started laughing at him, and he was like, I was right 9 times and you didn't appreciate it. You said nothing, but I was wrong only 1 out of 10 times, and you started making fun of me. So that's how the world operates. You do 9 good things and you do one, and I don't believe I even did a single wrong thing, and I still I'm the gossip queen. But I
Yeah,
love.
I don't consider what you're doing wrong at all, brother. You let it be clear your feelings on everything. If you don't like something, you're gonna call it out. That's being a straightforward guy. It's a stand-up guy from where I come from, and I got a lot of respect, and that's
Yeah,
why I've been a fan of your channel from day one.
yeah, yeah. And Tom has a limit solved. Pradeep, why you and Sandris beefing? I think he will be the right person to answer that question because he made a video about me first. I had no clue that he's going to make that video. So naturally, I had to respond because in today's world, if you do not respond, 90% of the community is going to think, well, Pradeep didn't respond because he didn't have to say anything. It means Sandris, whatever Sandris was saying was right. So I had to make a response video, and then I saw that he started kind of enjoying it, and he made another video, and at that time I was like, "No, okay, that's enough. I don't need any more of that." Now you can assume
I,
that I don't have any reply.
I got to say one thing about that. You both are friends of mine. I'd love to get you guys together. Maybe one of these. We got this show coming up, Armwrestling Buzz, that we're going to be working together with two other great YouTubers, that being Josh from Grip and Rip, and then Tob Stabolino. And I think we need to have a sit down. We need to have you, Sandra's on there, because you guys are both my friends, and we're just going to hash it out. And then at the end, I hope we could shake hands and you guys could be cool again, because you guys are great people. I think you just have two different point of views on a topic, but I think we could all come together and enjoy our passion of arm wrestling, and we don't have to have any drama with that.
For this one first episode on Wednesday. Okay, you said it's on Wednesday, right? Maybe I'm
Yeah,
miscalculating because if it is Wednesday evening for you, for me, it is like
Thursday, probably for
Thursday, yeah,
you.
for sure. Maybe I was miscalculating. I'm available. I'm in, brother. I think I was
Oh,
miscalculating the days, not the timing, but the days. I think I'm
bada
in.
bing. You just made my day. So we're going to start off with all four of us. That's the best thing. I
Yeah.
mean, what I like about this, we have four different personalities. We got four different point of views coming at. We got the promoter, that being me. We got Pradeep, the top arm wrestling news in our sport. We got Josh Grip and Rip, who's an arm wrestling fan. And we got Tom, who is kind of like a news guy up and coming in United States, but he's also an arm wrestler. So we're going to have
Hmm.
four different perspectives, and that's going to be an amazing
Yeah.
show. The Arm Wrestling Buzz, check it out, 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Mate is saying Sandris is in idiot mode. Hope he recovers one day. So he was saying, Paul, that Pradeep only talks about other people. That's how he gets his views. And I was like, okay, thank you for just certifying what I'm doing is correct. Because as a news channel, I'm supposed to talk about other people and not myself. And now, since he's kind of away from the controversies, is he uploading any videos? Like, there is a limited number of time where you can do this on a pulley with 70 kilograms and people are going to watch it. Eventually, if you're not someone like Levan or Devon or Denis Plenkov, guys like these, at some point of time you're gonna have to talk about other people. So I think that's what he, in his own mind, he was thinking, like he's making a good point. Like, I'm kind of making fun of Pradeep, but no, you were just kind of certifying my own work, that I'm doing great job. So I was really happy to see that. Why? Okay, Farm League. For what is Farm League? Arm wrestling community is fire. Stizzy, I love you, Pradeep. Always will. Thanks, brother. Pradeep, who do you think wins? Like, what is the match? So what are the super matches? People are mostly interested in super matches. You mentioned everything about, almost everything about the East versus West qualifier. Are you planning on some of the big super matches in the future? Like, we saw your channel took off like really fast when you started talking about those super matches, the $10,000, $5,000, $15,000. Michael Todd, like, I watch all of the videos on your channel, and the channel went like this. Some of the topics on which I used to believe it is difficult to extract views out of those topics, you get like 4,000 views on those topics as well. So I think your channel is doing great. So what are the super match plans in the future?
Yeah, you know what it is? It's just really hard to get a super match locked in these days. You used to throw out 10K and, everybody's hitting you up, wants a match and all. But, with King and Table, with East versus West, all these athletes are already locked in, and they're locked in for 2, 3 events. So, me just popping out of nowhere and making these call outs, I thought my phone was going to be going nuts. But actually, it was kind of the opposite. I wasn't getting no returns on it. Nobody would seem to be interested because it's not they weren't interested. It's just they're locked in other places already. So it is harder these days, because Engen keeps busy. He's got everybody locked in for the next 2, 3 events. King of Tables doing the same kind of thing. So I'm gonna find my place in there, and where I wanted to begin with is starting the Arm Farm League, is what I call it, and that's gonna be trying to find the talent in each area of the United States. I'm going to start off in one state, and I'm going to find these guys that everybody knows locally as the superstar, but they never had a platform to showcase to the rest of the country. So I'm going to give them a platform, and I'm going to start building the next generation of arm wrestlers, because I feel like that's where we're lacking in North America, where you go to the rest of the world, Europe and all that, they got all that going down. They got the young guys starting at 15, 16, making names for themselves. So by the time they come of age, everybody knows them. So I'm going to try starting off with there, see if I could get that going. But I'm also open to throw those big mega super matches. I want to iron out the North American rankings. I want to find out who's 1 through 10, because all the rankings are, off of matches that went down 3 to 5 years ago. A lot of things have changed then. And I want to be the guy that's going to iron that out. So give me some time, guys. I'm just getting started again. I took a little break of like 6 months or so. Wasn't in the community that much. I had a lot of other business going on, other places, but I'm back and I'm here to make things happen for North America. And that's my main goal right now.
Phil Woody UK is asking, is Paul going to East versus West 7?
I won't be making the trip to East versus West 7, but there is a possibility I could be going to East versus West 8. We got Jerry going against Hermes Gasparini. So, I might take that trip. The only thing with that is it's a really hard trip. I mean, it's like 20 hours for me. I got to fly to the East Coast. Then I got to go from the East Coast all the way over there on a 14-hour flight. So, it's literally 20 hours for me. It's a long trip, so I'm not always that enthusiastic that could take that trip. But if it's going to be to go support my man, Jerry Caderet, I might have to do that for number 8.
Yeah. JR Williams with a $5 super chat. But before your super chat, brother, I'll read your other comment. Pradeep, what is the validity of Neil Hiccup not giving financial incentives to competitors at Arm Wars, and what are Paul's thoughts on this? So when I made a video, I got a message from Neil's team, and that person messaged. He gave me a few names, few high level names, that the information given by you in that video is not entirely correct. These are the people that we have paid in the past. So for just for reference, those were high level guys. Ryan Bowen has not been paid. That's kind of open. Ryan has talked about it on his on internet. So that's the level we are talking about. Till that level, athletes are not getting paid. Not even the tickets. Not even any prize money or guaranteed showing up money. What are your thoughts about that, Paul?
Well, the promotion has to make money. So if the promotion is making money, then it should be spread around and have the athletes.
Yeah.
But if you're in an upcoming league or something like that, it's hard to be able to pay for everybody, flying them all over the place. But what the athlete is getting is they're getting a platform now. Now they're getting to be seen by the rest of the world. And now they could develop their own character. They become the next it factor. And then when they achieve that, they will be getting paid, on the big stage and all that. But, I understand coming from a promoter stance, if you're trying to throw 10 super matches at an event and you're bringing in a lot of these guys that don't have a name yet, I mean, you're not getting anything back in return. But what you are doing is you're helping build their name, their character, So I do understand that. But as far as the top athletes and all, you got to pay them. I
Yeah.
mean, they already put in the time, they put in the work, they're known out there, and you're going to get somewhat of a return on that. But I got to be honest, guys, I've been doing this 3 years, I've been throwing events all over. I never really made any money yet. I'm finding hope now watching East versus West and King of Table. But before that, man, I'm throwing events and I'm dropping $20,000, and I'm lucky to get maybe 4 or 5 thousand back. So it was more of a charity. It was more of my hobby. I love helping out. I love just going there for the weekend and being around my second family, having a great time. Like I said, we're renting these big bowler houses after just for an after party, just to have a good time. But it gets to a point after doing this for 3 years, you burnt a couple $100,000. You're not seeing returns. It's not even the money. It's, I run 3 other businesses. It's my time. I got to get something in return. So I'm hoping to turn that around now. And with pay-per-views and all, it might be able to be more getting my money back and all. So if that does happen, you're going to see I'm going to go nuts in North America. If I could even just break even on these big events, I'll start throwing them all over the place. I love this sport. I really want to grow this sport.
Yeah, people are calling you Vin Diesel. They're asking if this is Vin Diesel on the live. So JR Williams, I'm sorry, JR Williams with a $5 super chat. Pradeep, is Paul currently on speaking terms with the toddler, and when did he devise that nickname? Big ups to what Paul is trying to achieve in North America.
Well, the Tyler and me, I've had a few issues with him. He stubbed me.
I would like to know what those issues were.
All right, so I threw a seminar. I think it was a little over a year ago in the birthplace of arm wrestling in Petaluma, California. I laid out quite a bit of money to get him there, and I only had about 8, 9 people come and pay, and I lost a big amount of money. So I hit him up, about a week before, and I was like, I'm not really getting that big of a turnout. I'm a man of my word. It's just me and my buddy. I'm still paying you, and we're gonna have this seminar. But all I ask is, can I have you come maybe the day before? I got a crazy home gym all made for arm wrestling. Maybe we could do a little content or whatever. It would help me out and would help my new growing channel. At that time I had maybe a couple hundred subscribers. Yeah. I'll come that Friday. The seminar was on Saturday. Well, Friday comes along and I have like 4 or 5 of my friends there. I'm all excited and letting them know, I got Michael Toddler coming. I didn't call him Toddler then. I have him coming through, and we're going to throw this big event and everything. We're going to have do a lot of content and workout. Well, all of a sudden, I get a call like an hour before he's supposed to be there. Oh, hey, what's up, buddy? We're going to just post up in this parking lot here. We got the dogs with us, and I got the big RV. I said, I already talked to a business right near my house. They said you could leave the RV there. They would look over it. I could come pick you up. We'll get a quicker. Oh, no, man, I got too much going on, but don't worry. After tomorrow's seminar, we'll do some content. Okay, man. So I was a little disappointed. I have all my friends there waiting to get a workout in with them. So the next day comes by, we throw this great seminar. Like I said, only 8 guys paid. I end up just giving a bunch of other people, I think it was like 15 total. And I was just like, it's on me. Just come enjoy. Let's learn some things. Well, Michael gets there, and he starts telling that he's just getting over COVID. Next thing I know, Rebecca is doing the whole seminar. So I'd say she talked for about an hour and a half. Michael probably talked about a half an hour. Every 15 minutes, Rebecca goes, all right, well, he needs a break now. Let's go stand out front. And he's got to catch his breath. And we're kind of all just looking at each other like, what is going on here? Like, we wanted Michael Toddler, and now we got Rebecca kind of giving the whole seminar. So that was kind of weird to begin with. And then right after, I'm waiting for my content. We're going to do an interview. Oh, hey, what's up, buddy? I gotta run. I gotta go to Bill Collins' house. I'm supposed to meet him. So, I can't do that interview right now. So I'm just like, I just paid a couple $1,000, and I got Rebecca giving a seminar, and then I didn't even get my interview. And he's like, all right, maybe in like a week or so. Hit him up a week later. Oh, I'm busy. He always has a story or whatever. So that kind of really rubbed me wrong. And, there's a lot of other stuff behind that. I've hung out with him a bunch of times, me and Travis. We used to hang out at the casinos in Shreveport, Louisiana. We have a lot of oil friends. They would just give us a stack of penthouses. Here, bring your friends. I believe we had John Brazin come hang out with us. Then we called up Michael Toddler and Rebecca, had them come, hung out with them. When you're hanging out with them, it's like you feel like you're hanging out with an infomercial. They're just trying to sell you on something. We're like, guys, we're here to hang out and have a good time. You're always trying to get in my pocket and all, and it's just kind of rubbed me wrong. Me and Travis looking at each other like, why did we even have them come through here? This is kind of annoying, whatever. And then there's a lot of other personal things I know about Michael outside of arm wrestling that I have a real issue with. And any man that knew that whole situation also would have the same problem with him. So I'm not going to get into any of that. I'm not going to air out his business, but that's been a problem. So the other next thing is Michael Tyler, then he's talking a lot on internet. He's saying, oh, he could beat Devin. He could do this. Well, Devin kind of called him out and was like, yo, what's up? He literally called him on the phone. Well, I was feeling a little spicy. I'm over at my Florida place. I'm kind of bored. I kind of stopped smoking marijuana, so it gave me a lot more energy. And, I see this going on. And I'm, you know what? I'm going to call Michael out right now because I know he's full of shit right now. So I took out 10K and I was like, let's make this match happen, so that we're not just going bickering back and forth. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, guys. So I put up the 10K. Well, next thing, the toddler makes his video and all that, and we got a list of things. We got rules. We got regulations. It's got to go down at the Monster Factory. He's flying in this referee. And then at the end, he throws in the key thing. Oh, and Paul Italia, I'm not taking your 10K. Well, the only reason he did that was he knew that Devin would not do this for free. Why? Because Devin already beat him, what was it, a year before that in Dubai? And I mean, it wasn't even close. But for 10K, Devin was willing to go and do that. I talked with Devin. He's like, yo, buddy, we'll do this. Let's make it happen and all. Well, he just took the money out knowing that Devin would not pull him anymore. So I saw right through that. It got me angry. And I was like, look at this guy. This guy is so fake. So I was like, you know what, guys? He's on his little 100 trophy win in all the tournaments. He's on an ego trip. He's going around the local tournaments. He's smashing people in the master class, the grandmaster class, and you're just scratching your head. Like, this guy, it's like Michael Jordan showing up to your local basketball court and saying, I'm going to smash everybody to take the trophy. And you're kind of just like, why is he doing this other than his little ego trip? So what did I do? I put $1,000 bounty out on his right arm. I said, yo, anybody that could beat this man, well, the first guy that could beat this guy right hand in a tournament is going to win $1,000. I'm going to make a check from Italia Arm Wrestling Promotions, and I will mail it right to your house. Well, with that, everybody starts hitting me up. Yo, where's he going to be? You got the schedule? Do you know where he's going to go? Everybody starts taking pictures whenever they run into him. Like, yo, he's right here. I think he's going to this term. Well, the Tyler goes dark for 2 weeks. We don't know where he is. He just starts showing up at tournaments. Well, he shows up at one, I think it was in Kansas City. And then before the whole tournament begins, he makes this big video. Oh, Paul Italia put this bounty out on me. Well, guess what, Paul Italia? Pay up. And he goes up against this guy who now I know is an amazing arm wrestler, Bo James Olsen. And he just laid down him and he made like a whole spectacle of this. And he's like laughing at me and all. Well, I think that was the worst thing he could have did, because everybody's seen through his fake character. I mean, the guy looked like he couldn't handle the pressure. He was worried that one of these elites is going to show up and they're going to beat him in a tournament and he's not going to win his trophy and he's going to go home all crying like he does, like the toddler does. So it rubbed me really, really wrong. And I guess karma kind of hit him. I'm not saying I wish anything upon anybody, but a couple matches later, he popped his bicep. So I think, karma answered him and was like, you know what, you're going to do an asshole move? Well, this is what happens. So that's kind of the whole story in a nutshell. I mean, I've also, what rubbed me wrong, Pradeep, when he was at that East versus West, I take Engen's organization as the top of our sport. This is like the UFC. This is the big stage. And this man is just making a mockery of it. He's cursing at everybody, even his own corner, his own wife on pay-per-view, he's cursing out. That just, as a man, first off, you're supposed to be a professional athlete, but as a man, let's just keep it raw like that. As a man, you do not do that. You do not talk to your wife like that. You don't talk to your friends cursing them out. And then he's yelling at the referees. The next thing he's up there with Ongabayev and he's laughing like he's not taking it seriously. I felt bad for Engen. I'm like, this is like disrespect. And I know how Engen is a very respectful man, everything he does. And I just didn't understand why nobody stopped him. If that was one of my events, oh, bro, he would have been dragged off that right away. He would not have been allowed. In everybody in the arm wrestling world, Mike Tyler might be known as a tough guy or something. Where I come from, he's just an arm wrestler. So I don't respect that. I don't look at him as no tough guy. He is not that. So if these organizations can't control an athlete like that, I think they need to get security that could drag that guy right off because he's making a mockery of our sport. I had a bunch of people that I bought their pay-per-view just so they could watch it, non-arm wrestlers. And they're like, what is going on? This is allowed? It shouldn't be allowed. And then after that, I seen all these videos going out. And I've only been in the sport 3 years. I've seen the video of him going against Jerry, and he pulled the same thing in WAL. And he refused to pull, and he goes running over and he grabs the wall hammer like it's like a baby rattle. And he's just like, I'm not pulling no more. I'm leaving, and that's it. And he went through his little tantrum. I'm just like, how is this being allowed on the top stage? This should not be allowed. And nobody calls him out on it. Everybody's like scared of this guy in armor. I'm looking, I'm like, no more. I'm calling you out on this, bro. You're going to act like a toddler. I'm going to call you a toddler. So that's where we're at with everything with that.
Yeah, I have a few questions for you, but before that, the recent thing that you mentioned, even I made a video about how Michael kind of acted on that East versus West stage. I was also not a big fan of it, and I called Michael Todd out for that, and we talked about the topic after that as well privately. But the thing that you mentioned about WL, I don't think he was doing anything wrong there. Like, he was within the rules, and when they rechecked it, when they went by the footages, he was declared as the winner by the referees. So like my question is, why would he risk the prize money, especially after knowing that he himself, like Jerry himself, was really happy after beating Michael on fouls in the previous WL event when they faced. So with that WL thing that you just said, I don't agree with that he did anything wrong there. I don't like
you don't run around the big stage cursing out everybody, yelling at them and saying you disagree. And I don't believe it was right, because after that they changed the WAL strap. If your own equipment can't hold up, that should have been stopped. And they handled that right at East versus West. If you've seen when Jerry went against Georgie, and soon as that strap came off, what did they do? They stopped the match. That should have been stopped by Bart Wood in WAL. The equipment did not hold up. And it shows because they went and changed the equipment after that, and they got a stronger strap than that. So, I kind of don't agree with that. And the only reason why he got that win was because he threw his tantrum. If you look at Jerry just assumed that they were going to restart it and do the match over. That's the way it should have been. If you were a man and you were a professional athlete, you would have been willing to pull again and let's settle this the right way. Equipment breaks and you're just going to say, all right, I'm not pulling. No, that's not the way. And the way to run around yelling and cursing at everybody, that was not, that's not a professional athlete. And that's not what our sport, that's not a good look for our sport. We're trying to get this on the big time that all these non-arm wrestlers watch. Well, a non-arm wrestler watches that and it kind of degrades our sport. It kind of makes it look like a mockery. If he didn't agree with that situation, stand there like a professional athlete like Jerry did. Don't be screaming. Don't run around the whole place yelling at everybody, grabbing the hammer. It literally like a baby rattle. That's all I can remember. That's why I think of the toddler, and it was his baby rattle that day. I don't agree with you, Pradeep, on that
But but
situation.
but Paul, his point was that if an athlete is just literally standing up, he's not putting his elbow back on the table, and there is no rule saying that you should reapply the straps. And you're saying that in East versus West they reapplied the straps. So maybe the credit should be given to Michael because he created such a situation back in WL that now everyone is aware of that situation. If he just agreed to pull once again and didn't create that chaos there, maybe nobody would have thought about that rule and it could have happened again and again in the arm wrestling community. After that, WL, after their first or second match, WL got like thicker straps. Well, that is a different situation. But my point is here, you saying that this is how he shouldn't have represented for the arm wrestling fans. So at that point, should he care about, because he can only do one thing, should he care about the paycheck that he's going to get, because he mentioned there was a big winner's prize bonus there, or should he care about giving another good round to the fans and not asking the referees or not telling the referees that this is the rule and according to the rules I should win. And the referees, Bart Wood, the organizers, Neil Pickup was the commentator. After that, everyone agreed that Michael is right according to the rules. Well, that wasn't a pleasant situation. Michael is still hated till date because of that situation. But every elite arm wrestler said that Michael did the right thing according to the rules. And if we take that strap replacement part which Jerry is saying, I think other than that, Jerry also wouldn't say that Michael did anything outside of rules. Jerry's only point is also that it was the referee that should have reapplied the straps.
I don't agree with that. I really don't. And there's more to go with that. I mean, he's did this in the past before that as well when he was going against Travis Bajan. And I think it was at also at WAL. I think they were in a tournament poll though. And he went crazy on there. And then they all had to restrain him because he was trying to fight Travis on TV. And Travis is just looking at him like, what the hell is going on? Travis didn't want nothing to do with it. So, I mean, the guy has a reputation of doing this. I also know his character. I know him personally, and this is what he does. When he doesn't get his way, he throws a little tantrum. So, it's multiple times this has happened, and it's not always the organization's problem. If this
Yeah.
happened multiple times, it says something about him.
Yeah, in the Rivas match, in the recent match with Ongarbayev, I do agree. Like I've called Michael out on all of those occasions. Like this is not, according to me, this is not how a professional athlete should behave. And I agree with you in every other situation except that one, because I'm all about rules. If you are following the rules, after that I don't care how you're behaving, how you're acting. But that was the one situation where that was like completely within the rules. I'm not saying he kind of broke other rules in the other situation, but in the first match, in WL match, his whole argument was about the rule set. And when a guy fights for the rules, what is written in the rule book, I have to respect that. So that's why I was saying. So Lucas Krasinski is saying Michael is done, boy. Someone was mentioning that Michael is having a hard time accepting that he's not top 10 in the world without his King's move. I would say that Michael is not top 10 in the world with his King's move. So that's what I say. And I'm in a situation where I'm friends with both of you, Paul. You and Michael, and people call me a Michael Todd hater. And I was wondering, well, if I am a Michael Todd hater, then what is Paul Italia? Where do we critic? Where do we
I'm
categorize?
telling you
Yeah,
right now, the Tyler, I don't like him, and there's nothing that I will
yeah.
ever like about that man. I know too much about his character, and Any man that knows what I know would not be behind that man. I'm telling you that straight up.
And for me, Michael is the only world elite level arm wrestler that I've personally met when he visited India in June. But I was kind of in support of him way back, like when he had like 490 or some subscribers. I'm supporting him from that time. You mentioned something about this seminar. I don't think you have ever talked about this topic where you brought Michael and this was the situation that happened between you two guys. I think it's the first time you mentioned because I wasn't aware of it and I watched almost all of the videos. Was it the seminar before the Corey West versus Toddzilla match where where where, where Michael
I'm not
called?
I'm not sure if it was before. You know what? I think it was because I think at that one I was in a brace still. So that day at that seminar, I actually popped my bicep tendon. That
Yeah.
was my second time to pop. So that happened. But yeah, I think it was before.
I think it was the seminar where Michael was calling me out as well because I predicted against his buddy Corey West that Todd is going to beat him. It is going to look easy. Michael is kind of being biased because Corey is like a little brother to him, and I said those things, and Michael was really pissed. Michael was like, Rebecca was standing there, and he was saying like, well, Pradeep is just a little dude from India. What does he know about arm wrestling? He hasn't even met Corey, and I was like, do you really need to meet someone to predict their arm wrestling matches? I'm like, where is this going, Michael? What are you even trying to say? So don't get me wrong. I call Michael out on everything, almost everything that I disagree with him. I don't think there is a YouTuber online who has called Michael Todd out more times than me. But when I see something, when I personally believe that something is right, then I'm going to stand up with him on that topic. So I'm asking you, how far away do you like your home to Michael's home? Like, what's the distance when he was saying like next week or next day?
As where we live, you're
Yeah,
saying
where you live.
well, I live in a couple of places. You know, I have a place in New York, I have a place in Florida, and I have a place in California. So, you know, I guess the place in Florida would be the closest to him. You know, I'm probably maybe like 2, 3 hours. I'm not honestly, I'm not really sure. I've never been to Arkansas, but I think it's probably like 3 hours to my Florida place.
Yeah. And we have guys 200 people watching. Guys, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to Paul's channel, subscribe to Arm Wrestling News if you haven't already. That would be awesome. And you mentioned something about these two are going to be a little bit tough questions. You mentioned something about bicep tears, like the karma hits on people. And first of all, like I'd like to tell you one interesting fact. It is realistically speaking, in Sanskrit it was called karma, and in Hindi it is called karm. It is a Hindi word which is like kind of mispronounced everywhere. It is pronounced as karm, and people say karma, like how you guys say. So like I broke my neck. You also detached both of your biceps. So was that karma as well?
No, you know what that was? That was me coming into the sport and being obsessed. I was hanging out with everybody, Travis, Todd Zilla, all the greats, and they seen what I was doing. I was training 3 times a day. I got obsessed. I wanted to be the next John Brzenk. And you know, I come from 25 years of bodybuilding, you know, so I'm used to lifting. So they kept telling me to slow down. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm a little different than you guys. You know, I live in the gym. I've did this my whole life. You know, I could handle this. I didn't understand the whole tendon thing. You know, my muscles were maxed out, but my
Yeah.
tendons never really got the proper training. So from just overtraining and, you know, kind of going at things the wrong way as far as arm wrestling, I was still training bodybuilding and arm wrestling, you know, 3, 4 times a week, you know, 4 or 5 hours at a time. You know, it was just insane. I look back at it now and I just was really dopey, and I just didn't think I could ever get hurt because 25 years of bodybuilding, never getting an injury and all. So, you know, that was my own stupidity. But what it has done, you know, I look at it as a blessing. At that time, you know, I was like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. Why did I do this to myself? Do I even want to stay in this arm wrestling? But what it did do was, instead of going out of my mind and not being able to train and all, I took a positive out of it and I started becoming a promoter and I started throwing events all over the country. I would never have got into this otherwise. You know, I threw 56 events in 3 years. I teamed up with Travis Bajan. You know, we would every month we're in another state throwing these great events. So I really got an education from the best in the game very fast. And, you know, I don't see that happen any other way than me going through what I did in arm wrestling. So it's a blessing now that I look back at it. And I never stopped arm wrestling either. Everybody thinks I'm just a promoter, but for 3 years, I'm training every week. I got the big practices at my house. I'm blessed to be around the top pullers. I pull with guys like Luke Kent. We got a bunch of national winners that have been pulling 10 to 15 years on my team. So, I've been putting in the time with that, but I'm in no rush. When I first got into the sport, I instead of going in tournaments, I would go and pull super matches. I didn't even pull a tournament and I'm pulling super matches. Now I look back and I'm like, I had no business doing that. Well, now I'm going to come back this time the proper way. I'm going to start off in the tournaments. I'm going to get my experience. Once I do good at that, because guys, I'm almost there. I'm starting to beat, a lot of guys that are a lot heavier than me that have been pulling 10, 15 years, where I thought when I first came in this, I would never catch these guys. Well, my hand, my wrist has caught up to my arms, and I'm pretty solid on the table now. So you guys are gonna get to see, and I would say in the next couple of months, I'm gonna start competing, and I'm not gonna tell anybody where I'm gonna go, but I'm just gonna start showing up these tournaments and show what I've been doing and keeping quiet about it. I don't post no videos, no none. Because I don't want everybody hitting me up like, oh, you want a super match? Nah, man, I'm gonna do this the proper way, get my experience with tournaments.
Yeah. Okay, some interesting comments. Joe is saying it's his wife though. He can scream at her if he wants. LOL. And Pradeep trying hard to defend DMT. This is saying with laughing emojis. And I think I'm glad you mentioned it, brother, because I think it's a healthy argument. Since the other person is not here, if we both kind of start going in one direction, I don't think it is ever a healthy way of communication on podcasts. And that is one thing that I absolutely hate about the arm wrestling community, especially the YouTubers that are having these podcasts. Paul, you will never see two guys on a podcast that have different opinions, and when they do, they are kind of kicked off of the podcast. I've seen some people were on some podcasts and now they're hated. Now they're not being invited there, and it is the trend in the entire arm wrestling community. Always, you will always see on one podcast two guys who are going in the attacking the same direction. If they're defending the same person, they both are defending. If somebody is attacking, the other person is also attacking, and I don't think this is a healthy discussion at all. Like the echo chamber or whatever it is called, that is getting way too comfortable for arm wrestling YouTubers right now, and I don't operate that way. I really don't operate that way. Even if I'm in support, in 100% support of what you are saying, still I believe it is kind of my job to present arguments for the other side as well, so that we can actually learn something. With that being said, my next question to you will be, somebody was
Hold on
mentioning
one second.
that.
I
Yeah.
just want to answer one thing. Pradeep, that's why I like you so much, brother, because you're a stand-up guy, and that's the same way I am in life.
Yeah.
I'm not always that guy where we all got to get a trophy and agree with the same things. I'm not that guy. That's why I'm on here. That's why I respect you, because you're going to always say your opinion and you're not afraid of it. I'm the
Yeah.
same exact way. That's why I
Yeah.
went out after the toddler, because I felt somebody had to do it, and I'm gonna call you out if you act like that.
Yeah, and it's well within your rights to do so. LMAO, Paul is spitting facts. Paul is right, and someone was saying Paul is calling out MMT because he did take his offer. So I would say, like, why am I presenting these questions to Paul? Like, Paul was inviting me to USA for some of the events. That's the plan in the future. Like, why would I want to ruin the relationship with the person like who is inviting me to USA? It will be a great trip for me. But but my belief system is, if asking questions to someone or taking side of someone else is going to upset the guy who's in front of me, then, well, that's what it has to be in the future. Then I cannot change myself because of that. Just, I cannot always be in that defensive mode. And with that being said, my next question, Paul, is it, you mentioned various reasons like why you don't like Michael. Could one reason out of all of those be you're also a promoter and he is also running Monster Factory? Like, is that a competition thing or something?
Not at all.
Like, you may have never thought about it, but maybe it is somewhere in your subconscious mind or something.
Pradeep, listen to me. I'm telling you this straight up. I know this guy outside of arm wrestling, and I cannot get behind it. He's not a man in my eyes, and I'm straight up with that. I got certain sort of standards and that I live by, and that guy has violated them. So, and it's nothing to me. It's just things I know about him personally. So it has nothing to do with promotions. I do not look at any promoter in this game as competition. I know other promoters do, but I'm not doing that. This is not a living for me. This is something I do to give back to the community, to give back to the sport. I don't need this money. It's nothing like that for me. Other people might do these promotions because they're depending on this paycheck or whatever. Like I told you before, I've never made any money in this sport. This is me giving back. But now I am trying to make this into a profitable business, because just because I'd run 3 other businesses, my time is valuable. I could be doing other things. I'm taking away from my other businesses when I'm participating in the arm wrestling world. I don't have to throw these events. I could still be part of it, being on YouTube. I could be supporting other arm wrestling events and all. But, I choose it because I love this sport. This is really in my heart. This is my passion. So I will never be at competition with any other organization. And I am one of the biggest supporters of Engen Terzi with his East versus West. He knows that, when I go out there, it costs me 20 grand. The way I go, traveling and everything I go is first class and all. That's literally $20,000 that I'm just throwing out there just to help out Engen. I also buy every piece of merchandise that man puts out. I bought the East versus West table, if you guys could see right behind here. That's from number 4, signed from. So anything I can do to help out other organizations, I am doing. If I was looking at them as competition, I would not be doing that. So I'm just making that clear. I wish that organizations would look at me as the same, as not competition. I'm here to help guys. I also in touch with, guys from like the WAL. If they're coming back, I've let them know, hey guys, I'd love to be your Dana White. I'd love to be the guy to help
Yeah.
promote your sport, So guys, this is not competition. I don't depend on this as a paycheck.
Oh, yeah. Neil Pickup is in the chat. Like, I really love that question. Evening, Paul. Hi, Pradeep. Pradeep, quick question, mate. Who was the guy guy who was not invited onto the podcast because he had a different opinion? First of all, we did not talk about Neil's show, but I did say that about every show. So I guess Neil is right in asking that question because his show is also included in every show. We don't even have to go that far, bro. I am that person. I've literally asked multiple times, like 5 6 times. I even messaged Neil like, if you are criticizing something that I said, like there were multiple occasions where my name was brought up, and the things that I said and how they were not making any sense was brought up on Neil's show. And I was simply like, well, if you're criticizing what I'm saying, how about inviting me on the show, other rather than 5 of you guys combined attacking my thoughts and my points of views, and like and the chat also goes that way afterwards. So I think it would have been a totally healthy discussion if I was invited on there. So I don't think we need to talk about anyone else. I'm the example. And when it happened for the first time more than a year ago, everyone was saying, well, Pradeep, you're not a big enough name. You have to consider that Neil's channel is big, Neil's presence is big, so you do not deserve that spot yet. And I was like, okay, I gave heart to that comment, and I was like, that is seriously good feedback. Seriously good feedback. I'm going to work on it. I don't think now my channel is small enough to be not invited on Neil Pickup show. I think it is big enough for now. And someone was saying Sandris versus Pradeep. Are you going to have a match? The kind of matches that I can have with Sandris, or I would want to have, or I would accept to have, are these conversations and YouTube challenges. And I'm destroying Sandris already in both of those. So I don't think there is there is any
Hold on,
point.
Pradeep. We have to get you on our first show. You're part of that show. Is the Arm Wrestling Buzz, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and I invited Sandras on. So we're going to see if we can make this happen. And like I said, I want to have a sit down. I want to have you both give your opinions and your side of the story, and then we're going to come and we're going to put it behind us, because you two are both my friends, and we're going to air everything out, and then we're going to shake hands at the end of it. And I'd like to make that happen. And one other thing is, I want to just shout out to Neil Pickup. Neil is doing great things for our sport. He always has. This guy is a legend. I have so much respect for him in Arm Wars. And same thing when you guys were going back and forth with each other. I just wanted make everything right with you guys. You guys are great. Both of you guys are doing great things for our sport. And like I said, we come from all different walks of life, but we all have that one common passion, and that is arm wrestling, and that is spreading arm wrestling. So let's always remember that, guys. We always don't have to agree on everything, but at the end of the day, we all have that one thing that we do agree on is we want to spread arm wrestling. So let's use that as a positive.
Yeah, Atlantis IRL was earlier saying that he likes Pradeep for the same reason, and he thinks sometimes I get undue, undeserved hate and some kind of racism-based questions, opinions as well. I don't mind that as long as he's the other guy is not cursing in the video. I'm totally okay with that. I kind of believe that this racism thing online, like if somebody is taking opportunities away from you, like because of racism, then that can be a thing. If somebody is black and he's calling you black, I don't know where is the racism part in that, bro. He just said what you literally are. And that's how that's how Indians kind of make joke of this racism thing, because he was like, one guy comedian was like, in other countries you're like, well, that guy called me black, that's racism, they could go to the police. And in India, if you go to police and you say what's the problem, because in India there are like 1,000 murder cases pending and like the worst shit that you can imagine. And he was like, if you go to the police and you call him that he was racist, well, what did he say? He called me black. And the policeman will be like, well, that's because you're black as shit. That's why he called you black. And make sure you go to home before it is night, otherwise no one will be able to find you. So that kind of racism doesn't really exist in India, at least. Like, there is nothing you can really say to me that I'll feel like a racism attack. All right, so there was some interesting. Someone was saying Pradeep's cough is getting better. I don't know what happened to me. It has never happened. Like, almost 1 month I've been coughing. That's really bad. I have no problem, but when I get on YouTube, I have to speak constantly. That's when the problem starts. Let me see, Paul, if before I ask you next question, if Neil responded. Yeah, no worries, mate. Reason for the question was there had been. I've not read the entire comment, but I still don't think Neil would have said in this comment that you are invited on the on the chat when you want. Let's see if he said. Rumors that Ryan Bowen wasn't invited onto the fix, and in fact, that was not the case. I wanted to dispel that myth. Okay, yeah. So clearly, I'm not invited even now. You see the thread here, Paul? Yeah. Based and Pradeep build. Pradeep versus MMT. So, brother, tomorrow, once again, like a quick recap. Tomorrow, no, on Wednesday, we have the Arm Wrestling Buzz first episode. And what's next? What's after that?
I'm looking to throw some more events. I'm looking around and see where I'm going to do it. I was originally going to start this Arm Farm League in California, but I'm thinking maybe somewhere else. I'm open. So if you guys interested, you got a great venue or something, and you want to team up with Italian Arm Wrestling Promotions, let me know. I definitely want to keep the hype going. I want to get this Arm Farm League started. I also want to bring some mega super matches as far as ironing out the top 10 in North America. I feel like we've all been concentrating on, the world arm wrestling scene, and the North America scene has kind of been slacking because of that. So I'd like to be that guy to actually make that happen. Let's figure out who is the top 5 right now in the super heavyweights, because, like I said, we're going on past matches that happened 3 to 5 years ago, and we're saying these are still the same guys in the top. We got a lot of new hungry lions coming up. One of them we just seen in action, Austin Jagers, man. I threw Austin Jagers at my big match in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We did it at home plate in front of a whole stadium, and we had Lachlan Adair against Austin. But Austin has leveled up in his last year. He just got this big win against Derek Smith. So Austin is another young up-and-coming lion. We also got Chance Shaw. I'd love to get him going in the United States and see where he's at in the top 10, because I really believe he's making he might be hitting that top 5 very soon.
Yeah.
He's right there. So I want to figure all that out. I want to get action back here in North America. So if you guys are looking to team up with Italian Arm Wrestling Promotions with either the Arm Farm League or throwing some mega events, hit me up, guys. I'm open.
Yeah. Sanka is saying, Neil Pickup, what are you doing in the chat, mate? Get in link from Pradeep and come live. No, no, no. Neil is not going to be live. I've invited him multiple times. The next time we are going to talk, that is going to be on the Fix or any other live show that Neil is with. That's when we are going to talk. I want to be there. Like we have to discuss things out there. And I'm telling you, if
Hold on, Pradeep. The arm wrestling buzz, brother. You keep forgetting. This
yeah,
is where we're gonna do all this. So
yeah.
you got a show coming up, arm wrestling buzz. Neil, you're invited. If you want to come this Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, I'm putting out an invitation to you right now, brother. I'd love to have you on. You could be one of the first guests of our show, which is going to be a mega show. We're just getting started, but I'm telling you, this thing is going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like 1 a.m. or something for Neil. Let's see if he can join. And Paul, one thing Sanka was saying, wait, there was a comment. Joke QI. Remember that Sandres, when he uploads a video, he doesn't want anyone to watch it. He never makes videos for views. Only other people want views when they post a video, not Sandres. You get that reference? That's what he called me out for, posting videos for views. I'm like, there is not a single person on YouTube who doesn't post there for views. Everyone wants views. So you better tell him to be prepared, man. Otherwise, it is going to be a long day on that chat for Sandres. I'm telling you in advance. That is not arm wrestling where he can beat me. That is not arm wrestling where he's going to beat me.
We shouldn't, let's just keep it. We got the same passion. We don't got it, you air out your beefs and then we shake hands after that. That's all I care about. You know, you could say whatever you got to say, but after, let's all just be cool. We don't got to be friends. But let's leave the beef there on the table, and then that's the way to handle it like two real men, And you guys are two great guys. I know both of you. I love both what both of you guys do. Sanders is the next young, hungry, upcoming lion. He is going to be a real force in this sport. He already is. But, I mean, this guy, he's got a really bright future. You are the top arm wrestling news in our community. You've been doing mega things. So, I mean, you guys are both very positive for this arm wrestling world. So let's all be cool with that.
Yeah. Neil is saying, as I said the other week on the Fix, the venom and drama in the sport is not what I am about. So, okay, basically I'm about venom and drama. Okay, fair enough. I would rather just try to channel effort into positive endeavor and not negative. Yeah, 5 guys ganging up against one guy and bashing him and trying to destroy his views online. Yeah, I get it, Neil. I get it now. Pradeep will tell, and that's probably why Neil, like 2 years, more than 2 years ago, he kind of, I never made any controversial comments, and I'm still banned from commenting on Neil's channel. So you can get to know what it is all about. Pradeep versus Sandre stop. But one thing that I really admire, really like about Neil is that you can call him out all you want. The next day you talk with him, he's so respectful, he's so calm, he's so peaceful. Like, one thing that, of course, it is difficult to judge someone just by messaging and talking with them online. But Neil, to me, seems like a guy who, like, if he even has a beef with someone, the next day he's already forgot about it. That's the kind of personality I think Neil has, and I really admire that about him. But one thing, he has absolutely zero room for any kind of feedback, any kind of criticism. He just cannot handle it, does not want to take it. Different opinions, never. That's what I mentioned earlier. Cannot handle difference in opinions. Have never banned you, Pradeep. Whoa, brother, let's not get there. There are literally 3 steps. I've been banned. Either you did it at that time 2.5 years ago. There were no moderator thing. That moderator feature is recent on YouTube. So there were no moderators back then, and I literally sent you step by steps. You said I do not know how to unban you. So I literally sent you screenshots. There are only 3 steps, just 3 steps with those arrows pointing towards like where you have to click. I sent him like 3 screenshots. If you do that, then I'm going to be unbanned from your channel. And he wasn't having any of it. Like, he was totally not interested in that. And now he's posting laughing emojis that I have never banned you. We both know. But you don't want to unban me as well. That's also the point, Neil. Taking Pradeep school lunch money. What does that mean? So I think, Paul, that's about it. the 200 people, like, people love criticism. People absolutely. Somebody was saying that Neil is just jealous of Pradeep's channel, that's why he doesn't want that. No, I don't think so. I don't think Neil even cares about his own channel enough. Like, a person who doesn't even care about his own channel enough, I don't think he's jealous of anyone else's channel. Pradeep speaking facts. Pradeep is being bullied. No. I'm the last person you can bully. People always talk about Paul. People always talk about me when I call these things out, that Pradeep, you're just burning bridges. And, like, if a news channel wants to be non-biased, straight to the facts, it doesn't need any bridges.
Yeah.
It doesn't need any bridges. What kind
I
of
agree. I
yeah
agree with you, brother. You got to be your own person, and you're a stand-up guy. So I respect that, and we don't got to agree. I said that before. So much respect for what you do.
Yeah. Internet scam artist. That could be a kind of a racist comment, but I don't even know. In today's world, I don't even know who that is directed towards. Is it towards me, or is it towards an arm wrestling promotion? Pradeep versus Neil Beef. So, guys, once again, please subscribe to Paul Italia's YouTube channel. The Arm Wrestling Buzz is a new show where four of us will be joining, and we'll be talking about different subjects. I'll share the link in my community tab. Hopefully, we can get lots and lots of viewers. I think it is going to be live, Paul.
Yeah, it's gonna be live. And then one other thing is April 1st, guys. I'm teaming up with Cobra Rhodes. We're gonna be in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Got a bunch of great super matches. You can check it out if you can't make it in person. You can check it out on my live stream. It'll be on my YouTube channel, completely free. It's just me giving back to the community. It's a East versus West qualifier, so this is a mega event. We're expecting, 400 or 500 entries. This is going to be a big one, guys. So definitely tune in that day. It's going to be some great arm wrestling going on. And
Yeah.
Pradeep, thanks again for having me on, brother. It's always a pleasure coming on your channel. And again, congratulations on your 25K subscribers. I know the hard work it puts in, and you deserve all of that, brother. So thank you
Yeah.
again for having me on.
Thanks, brother. Thanks. The aim is 50K this year.
Hell yeah.
End stream.